I'd like to invite from the Long Island immigration movement as well as the May 1st movement, Ms. Theresa Gutierrez, who's at the forefront talking about immigrant issues and immigrant rights. Please welcome her from New York City.
Muchas gracias. You know, there's this stereotype that when you come out to Long Island that things are so bad here. And what I'm hearing this afternoon reminds me of exactly what is going on in this country. Because I'm so impressed with all the different speeches, and it gives you such hope that even in the most segregated place in the country, even in the place where African Americans and Latinos are vilified and beat up and treated bad. And I remember about the incident of some Latinos whose homes were burned up by some racist thugs here, that even in Long Island, we have reason to be optimistic and hopeful about this country. Many times I have heard throughout my many years in the struggle, like when Reagan got elected or when George Bush got elected the first and the second time, a lot of people will tell me I'm leaving the United States, I'm going to Canada because of the government that is elected here. Or sometimes we organize delegations to Cuba, a country that is very poor, but that there is no homelessness, there is no racial profiling, there's no police that beat up on youth or people just for speaking up. And I will not stay in Cuba. I want to come home, even when there's people saying I'd rather stay here than come back to the United States because of everything that is wrong with this country. And it is true. This is the country that is most violent, is more warmongering, like Martin Luther King said. This is a country that every 6 seconds a woman is beaten up. And how can it be any other way that this country is the way that it is? When it was founded on the genocide of African people, when it was founded on the robbery of Native American and genocide of Native American people, when it was founded on the robbery of my country, Mexico. Because if it hadn't been for Manifest Destiny, I would not have been born in Texas. I would have been born in Mexico. And that's why Chicanos say, I didn't cross the border crossed us. And yet, we have a situation today, sisters and brothers, that immigrants from around the world, primarily from Latin America, primarily from Mexico, but immigrants from Africa, the Caribbean, and Asia, around the world, are forced to come to the United States. And once they get here, they are treated like criminals. They are treated like dogs. They are treated as non-citizens, as non-human beings. Yet it's this very government, the very government that treats immigrants like animals, that forces them to come here. Because the labor movement told the government, for example, that if it passed laws like NAFTA, Mexicans would be forced to come here in record numbers. And that is exactly what happened. U.S. government foreign policy, whether economic or military, is at the root of why immigrants come here. And yet when they come here, when they need them, when they need cheap labor, then it's all okay and they say nothing. But when the economy is going sour, the way it's going now, then it's a totally different story. And so I'm here to ask you to join the movement in solidarity with immigrants. I'm asking you to join with us on May Day 2009 here in Long Island, as well as later on in Union Square in Manhattan. And this May Day, sisters and brothers, May Day 2009 has to be what we have been talking about since 2006. Because don't forget, in 2006, immigrants came out of the shadows like never before. Those of us that have been working for immigrant rights in 1970s or 1980s, this is the kind of thing that we have been waiting for, what happened in 2006. And what happened is that tens of millions of workers came out in places you would never expect demonstrations. In Las Vegas, Nevada, or Dallas, Texas, all around California, all around the Midwest, all around the East Coast, workers came out in record numbers. And immigrants did in 2006 what they did in the 1800s, and that was they gave us May Day. Do not forget that one of the reasons why I am so optimistic about the people of this country, I never look down at any of them. They may say backward things, they may say racist things, but I say educate. And someone that can be racist today but loses his job tomorrow can join our struggle. In the 1800s, immigrants gave us May Day. And on 2006, they revived that. And now today, because of the fact that CEOs are being bailed out by the U.S. government, May Day 2009 has to be a demonstration of U.S.-born workers like never before. It has to be documented and undocumented. It has to be Black and Latino and Native and Asian and Arab and women and men. And we have got to tell whoever is in the White House that our history shows us that it doesn't matter who's in the White House. It matters who is in the streets struggling for their rights. That's what history has shown us. Now, I am not a fan of the Democratic Party, sisters and brothers. In the 1970s, when I was a Chicana activist in Texas, and we were organizing for Chicana rights, the Democratic Party really sold us out in Texas. And I've been disappointed year after year after year, notwithstanding the fact that there are many progressive Democratic Party officials that we must work with, that we count on, that help us here and there. But I think that this year is different. Because if you stand with the Black community in their right to self-determination, then you stand with them in supporting Barack Obama. And furthermore, a vote for Obama is an anti-racist vote. Because when the Republican Party decided to pick Sarah Palin, it was a message to the right wing. And it was a call for the reactionaries and the racists of this country to be whipped up to vote in McCain. And I don't care about the Democrats, but I care about the people of this country. And I will not go along with this pandering to the right wing that is going on in this country right now. They opened up a genie and they don't know how to put it back. And that's why when you have Black or Latino cameramen that are covering the Republican Party, some of the most racist, nasty stuff comes out against these people. One of my TW members of the May 1st Coalition went to Ohio to try to drum up the vote, and they're countering all this racist stuff that they're having to answer. And they went to one of the Republican Party debates, one of their gatherings, and the people that were going to the Republican Party convention yelled the most racist, vile stuff at this African-American brother. This is who they're appealing to. And so I think that this year, this is a vote about the future of this country, and the only way that we're going to change things is if we continue to demonstrate. And so I urge you to join us on Wall Street, October the 25th, 24th on Friday, to say, bail out the people, not the bankers. We want a moratorium on foreclosures. We want the credit card debt of every single person in this country canceled. We want free education. We want free health care. This is the richest country in the world. It could give it to us if the government had the political will. And we're going to keep marching until we end this war, and not only the war in Iraq or the war abroad, but the war against the people right here at home. And it comes first with standing with the immigrants right now, because immigrants are being the scapegoat, the vulnerable, the test of whether you're going to take what's going to happen in the coming days. And we don't know if the economy is going to get better, do we? It could get worse. And that's why we have to triple our forces. We have to stand against all of this, and we got to fight like hell for our rights. And I'm confident that we are going to win. That's right, we are going to win. Thank you.